Hello, it's Daniel Hussey here. Welcome along to a special Matchbook Golf Power Hour ahead of the US PGA. Very excited about this to talk about the markets. And also delighted to welcome our two guests. It's Matchbook's Will Turl and Jesse May. Guys, welcome along.
Hi, Daniel.
Hey, Daniel. How's it going?
Not too bad, not too bad. It's the eve of the US PGA. Will, before we talk a little bit what we're doing here, it's the ugly duckling of the four majors. Unfortunately, it has to be said before we preview and build it up over the next few minutes.
I think it was the ugly duckling. Certainly in sort of previous years, the PGA was always the one maybe the viewers weren't as excited about, and it was just the Americans maybe that got excited about it. But I think if you look at the course, everything you've heard from the players, from any of the media there, it looks awesome. I think it's going to be right up there with sort of a Masters or a British Open. It's going to be right up there. I think it's going to be really, really good week.
That's it. That's exactly what we want to hear. For you, Jesse, I wanted to know, because people know you from poker, people know you from so many other places. You were at the Greyhounds in Towchester there a couple of weeks ago. Where does golf rank in Jesse's betting portfolio?
I mean, for fun, I am a major man. If the major's happening, there is nothing better than to have some bets on golf and spend the weekend watching. Now, in the old days, I would always do it. But to be honest, I think that, I got into the same situation years ago that a lot of people got in, which is just, it's hard to get money down sometimes on golf. This is almost even before the advent of the exchanges, which is why I'm actually really excited about all the liquidity that we've got at Matchbook these days, because it's kind of a new thing. People love to bet golf, but they're always complaining, I can never find the tight prices, never find liquidity. I get shut down here and there. So if you can get a bet down easy, there's nothing better.
Absolutely, Jesse. Well, we'll take it just to explain what we're doing. So we're going to have a look at the USPGA, the outright markets we have in Matchbook, the liquidity going on there. I'm going to hand it over to Jesse, and myself and Will are going to give a couple of picks on the golf, and then there's an exciting arbitrage thing that Jesse really wants to talk about. So stay tuned for that as well. But Jesse, I'll let you take over, and I'll share the prices for the USPGA.
Yeah, let's look at the prices, because obviously, golf is, we know people love golf. We know people want to bet at golf, but sometimes it's hard to get liquidity in the markets. And we've made it a focus here at Matchbook. And check it out. We got very, very tight prices. I think when you look at those top four, and by the way, Daniel and Will, when you look at the top four, where's the big two? Where are the big four? Golf is wide open right now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Scheffler?
Yeah, we talked about this before. I think, you look back sort of 10, 15 years, you'd have Tiger Woods at 3-1 going off on the PGA. Then you'd have a gap to the rest. Whereas now,
Duval. Then it was Duval.
No one knows. The majors now, generally are a pick 'em. You could make a case for any of the top 10. We've got a few cases to give to the audience, but I think viably you could pick any of those guys. I think the most exciting price you see there is Scheffler at 14 in comparison to the industry. I've not seen that stronger anywhere else. So,
and look, you can have as much as you want on it, right? I mean, fill her up, right? Eat all you want. Take 2 trips to the buffet. Look at Jordan Spieth. You can back him at 21. You can lay him at 22 for $5,000 either side. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we said Scheffler, right? Scheffler, he played probably about 10, 12 tournaments this year, and I think he's won about half of them. Not very often you're going to get 14.0 on a selection like that. Obviously, the majors are a different story, and it's going to be hard to go back to back. But again, golf's in a great place. You could make a really strong case for any of those, and the liquidity on the Matchbook site there is awesome. I mean, we're talking 4 figures plus on the majority of the top selections.
Okay, let's go Daniel first. Daniel, I mean, we were talking before, I was looking through your social media feed. I think your first ever follow on Twitter was Shane Lowry or something. You are like an old golf hound, right? So who's your top fancy here? Oh, look, there we go, 44-1. Are you having a tickle?
Where's that mouse going on? Yeah, I do think the 44.0 is pretty big, and I used to, a couple of with my punting, I used to do everything bar back the Irish golfers. When I first started out, it was back the Irish golfers. Nearly went broke doing that. So then I just said, you know what I'll do? I'll do it properly, and I do so much research. Where now I think Shane Larry's staring us at in the face of 44.0. Like he's playing nearly as good as Scotty Scheffler has this year, particularly in America. So if you take away his match play tournament this year, right? So just stroke play events in America, second, tied 13th, tied 12th, tied third of the Masters, and tied third. So you're looking at that form. It's proper form. The Masters, I had him backed. I was very confident he was going to do very well, coming second or third, which we managed to stay on. But that shot he hit, I think it's into the sixth, the par 3, was just a terrible shot, and it was a kind of brain freeze on his end. But he's playing unbelievable golf. The setup in this course really suits someone who's very good with his wedges around the greens. I was lucky to be at the Open that he won in 2019 at Royal Portrush.
No way.
We were there. Do you remember? There was a stampede on the 18th. This was pre-COVID times. And I was right up there leading the charge. It was absolutely phenomenal, to be honest with you. But my abiding memory of that is watching him around the greens. Absolutely phenomenal, unbelievable.
Okay, so not only is your heart with him, but you actually think this is the value bet of the tournament right now.
Yeah, 44. For me, it definitely is. Like his US PGA record 12-8, 66 last 4 years. He's fourth on the PGA Tour strokes gained approach as well. So his approach game is very well on a tough long golf course. But if he ever in trouble, he'll get himself out. And 44.0 on the Matchbook betting exchange, like the firms you mentioned there, Jesse, they're obviously a lot shorter. 44.0. I'm rambling on here about Shane Larry, but he's my strongest selection.
The reason is your abiding memory is because all the Guinness hit after that. So he's probably the last thing you remember is him on the green, and then it's it's a blackout.
There was they were selling these little bottles, and we were around the green with Shane Larry.
Sorry, I'm just having a look here. I didn't realize like a lot of the firms are going 25 and 28. You can get some 30 out there. 43 to 1 on Matchbook. All right, well, give us. There he is. And look, that's good value. Now we'll talk a little bit more about why the firms are shorter. A lot of them are given a little value in the place market on the each way. But Will, where is your top pick? Are you going shorter or longer, higher or lower than Lowry?
I think higher or lower. I think I'm going slightly lower. But like I said, you really could make a case for any of the top sort of 10 guys in there. But my money, with such a spread out field this week, is going to be on a kind of slightly forgotten player over the last couple of years. But that's the American sweetheart, Jordan Spieth. I think last week we saw him back to unbelievable form again. He had a couple of weeks off after he won the tournament before that on the US Mother's Day. Last week he honestly was there to win again. He only lost because the KH Lee basically shot the lights out on the last day. Spieth did nothing wrong. He missed one short putt, but apart from that, I've never seen him drive it so well. He's absolutely bombing it. He doesn't get the credit for the distance he hits it, but for a pretty scrawny looking guy, he can hit it a long way. And despite that pretty ugly pre-shot routine he's got now, where he looks like he's sort of trying to lasso a horse or something, but apart from that, if we can look over that, he's hitting it really well off the tee. And as we know, this course looks like a bomber's course, so the fairways are pretty wide. It's really long. Both the par 5s are over 600 yards, I think. The par 3s are all 200 plus. He can hit it a long way, but more importantly, the green complexes look really tough. So apparently everyone in the media says if you miss a green on any short side, you're rolling off a mile. We know what Jordan's all about. Jordan's short game is absolutely magic. So if he can drive it as well as he can the last two weeks, he was back-to-back gaining 3 shots on the field, tee to green the last 2 weeks. And that sets him up perfectly for putting himself in position to hit the greens. And if he misses the greens, it's Jordan Spieth. He's going to get up and down. He's going to hold a long putt or a chip at some point. So yeah, if I had to pick one of the top 10, it's Jordan Spieth for me. I think he'd have been 8 to 1 maybe if this was 5 years ago. Obviously, there's a lot of good players out there, but he's grateful.
I happen to like that. Excuse me, like that selection. I'm with you on the back, but look how tighter than a mouse's whiskers here. Back at 21, lay at 22. That's what an exchange is all about. So whether whichever side you want to be on, it's a great price. Now, guys, let's just talk quickly about, because I think this is kind of one of the great things about golf betting on an exchange, which is a back to lay. Who's got a back to lay selection? And let's talk a little bit about it.
Yeah,
Daniel?
yeah.
Oh, Will, you got one?
I'll pick this one first, and then I will come in. I'm scrolling a lot here trying to find the golfer. If you bear with me, it's Adam Scott, who from memory was around the 150.0 mark. I will find him in a second.
110? Is that possible?
Well, Jesse, you were on our group chat during the week saying you're going to lay Tiger Woods. You had to look at the price and go, I won't lay him at 110. Just put it on record.
No, and by the way, he's like 20s in some spots in the U.S. right now because so many people have backed him.
I think wherever Tiger plays, he's going to get backed. So bookies historically are going to be quaking in their boots if he has a good start.
Yeah, for me, it's Adam Scott at about 150.0. He's one of these golfers that's just focused on the majors, and ever since he did maybe 3 or 4 years ago say, I'm only really going to play the majors, it hasn't quite worked out for him, but he played this course back in 2007 when the PGA was there, and he actually finished tied 12th. And he was interviewed during the week, and he actually was shocked he finished tied 12th. He remembered it today as back then as if finishing tied 35th. He was that far behind Tiger Woods, I think 10 strokes. But there's just a couple of signs. He's had a lot of equipment change this year, so I am slightly concerned that his iron play hasn't been where it's needed to be in order to contend in these events. So that is a slight concern. But he is 20th in the putting stats, strokes game putting on the PGA Tour, which is phenomenal for Adam Scott, who everyone thinks of as a notoriously bad putter. Now, every time I see him stepped over a putt, I don't care what the stats say, I am still concerned. But it's 150.0 shot on Matchbook at the moment, so that's my back today. I think he could be contending thereabouts. I don't think his approach play will last on a Saturday and a Sunday. So if he is at around the 20.0 mark, there's potential to, like you said, Jesse, get out of your bet or even get out.
I quite like the idea with him just because he is that major player, the guy that only steps up really in the big events. Yeah. He's one of those where if he gets a good start, he's going to stick around. You know, if you had your money on I don't know, a Bobby McIntyre or someone like that, like a more junior player, you might be concerned they're going to get bogged down by the pressure. But Scott, for a fact, if he's up there, he's not going to wilt away. Pressure's not going to bother him. It's just whether his golf swing holds up. So I agree with you. And his putting, by the way, with the weird long putter up his arm, it's been a revelation for him. His stats have turned around, so you're completely right there.
Yeah, and look, the back to lay, sometimes with those longer shots that you've mentioned, you can pick a little basket of them with the idea being that only one guy has to have a good round or get into the, by day 3, you get green, you green up, and you're free rolling. Now, that's not something I've done a lot, but I know like that is what an exchange is best for, really.
I've got some stats actually, Jess, for the sort of a whole back to lay metric and why it might be really interesting for this week. So the majors that have been played at this golf course, there's been 7 of them, right? 5 of the leaders from day one, so guys that are in the top of the leaderboard from day one, have gone on to win. 7 out of 7 have won. 36 whole leaders have won the tournament. So it does seem like it's a sort of course where once you get your nose in front, you're up there, you're going to hold on pretty strongly. So I think the prices will reflect that. So I think your player is going to stay in there strongly. So if you do get a good first round out of Adam Scott, you can probably slowly start hedging your position, but you might be able to keep him up there for a long time. So it's not a case of him just going to completely bomb out. I think you're going to see them stick up there, the guys that are up there from the early stages. So that could be a really interesting angle.
And just on that, something you were saying, Jesse, look at the comparison here on Odds Checker. I was trying to get it up there. So Matchbook is 160.0 win, obviously, and obviously the each way firms as low as 66s here I see on Adam Scott. So if you are kind of like to me, I think it's more likely Adam Scott could be up there and then not quite place as opposed to maybe stay there for the week and place. So if you are maybe looking at that, the win bet here at 160.0 is massive price.
It is, but look, there is a reason that the firms do offer some incredible value here, and I just kind of wanted to quickly highlight the strategy that a lot of people use, which is that there is an arbitrage here. It's a little bit hard to do, but when the firms are offering 11 places on the each way, it is actually some of the biggest arb you can have. Now, there would be some people who say, well, it's just great value, I'll take it. But you can put yourself in a position, and I just tried it out with Rory McIlroy just to see how it worked. And the reason is because for me, McIlroy's a good man to hang around in the places, but maybe not win. So I quite like this. He's third favorite. Now you could get him at 18-1 to win at Matchbook, but on some of the firms, you can get him each way at 11 places for about 12-1, right? Which means that if you bet 10 each way, okay, you'll be getting only 12-1 on the win, but you'll be getting 3.4 on the place. If you then go over to Matchbook, now that's pretty good value, not great value on the win, unbelievable value on the top 11 places. But if you go over to Matchbook and you decide to lay him, so you lay him on the win, and you basically lay, to win on the lay bet about the same 10 you put on the each way, and then you go to the top 10 place betting, where you can see now we were getting 3.4 on that side from the firm. We can lay him here probably at around 3.0, but you can see 3.2. If you just take it, you can get in the middle. You'll put yourself in a position, right, where if Rory wins, you'll win small. If he loses, you'll break dead even, and if he hits the top 10, then you'll also win. So you put out, like, let's say $200, and you put yourself in a position where you're guaranteed to win 20, cannot lose. And if he hits 11th place, you kind of scoop, and you'll be up for a double win. Now, like, you can look at it, you can try it out. It's once you do it, you'll understand. Me, sometimes I just like the value, but for people who want to guarantee win, this is what the majors are all about, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
I've
got one other selection for you. One other selection for you there. So, a very, very popular guy to bet on in some of the majors. Maybe not been in quite as good a form recently, but if someone told me I can only have £10 on any golfer this week, only one bet, £10. Who's my money on? Where's the value? Brooks Koepka. I think Daniel's in the same boat there. Look at that, 55 on Brooks Koepka. I mean, it's some of the best value I've seen on a golf market for a long time, in that guy is multiple major winner. When he's been playing and to a decent, when he's been in decent form, he's been right up there. The last we saw of him, it was the Masters. He's played one or two since. He's not been in shooting the lights out form, but I just think when you get Brooks Koepka, a multiple major winner who in the PGA particularly always seems to be up there, to get 55 on a player of that caliber, I think it's pretty rare you'll get that. So if you said to me, £10, you can only put it in one place. As much as I love the Spieth shout earlier, I'm putting my £10 on Brooks Koepka, and I'm either going to win or I might completely bomb out, but I'm going to get a good old run from my money.
Yeah. And look, I think when you're betting at margins this tight, you're always going to get a fair gamble, and that's a nice thing. And even there's value out there because the majors are so popular. Daniel, are you couch bound the whole weekend? Is that your plan, Thursday to Sunday?
American times in Europe, watching golf and the NFL is absolutely bliss. Like the Thursday evening, Friday evening, Saturday evenings, but particularly that Sunday evening, because it's sport in the UK and Ireland. It's GA, it's football, it's soccer. It's all done. Nothing's happens on the Sunday evening if it wasn't for the States, but the US PGA, I love the three American majors because it's in that time slot between 6, 7, 8 p.m. all the way to midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., whatever it takes to get a winner. Normally by the back nine of the major, my bets are long in the gutter. So if I'm even cheering on a place at that point, I am a happy man. It's great for the weekend.
You can claim it's work, right? So at least you can.
Yes. Well, that's what I do now. Yeah. Odds for work. I have to stay up to 3 a.m. watching Shane Larry win the USPGA.
Sounds good. Look, we just kind of keep your eyes on Matchbook. We know that our users love their golf. We know that it's all about getting a tight overround their liquidity. We've been working with our liquidity providers to get the money in there so people can have a good old bet on Matchbook and use it as part of their betting strategy. And I think it's going to be a nice golf summer. We are on our way.
Absolutely, I'll take over there now. But yeah, it's like you said, a lot of people with sports books and stuff. It is tough to get a bet on sometimes, and like Jesse says, there's so much liquidity there. Will, any final thoughts on the USPGA itself before we head off?
No, I'm just looking forward to it. I think, like I said, this is going to rival the other majors this year. I think sometimes maybe you don't get so excited for the USPGA, but the golf course, like some of the words coming out of the top golfers is ridiculous. Like they're seeing it like you see an Augusta. So I hope they're not overhyping it, because I'm certainly blocking out my calendar for the next few nights.
Jesse,
Okay, so you got me now.
thoughts?
It's Koepka, it's Lowry. I'm in.
Yeah, 2 miscuts incoming there. Well, then one thing, Jesse, to mention is a sign-up offer as well. For those who don't have a Matchbook betting exchange account, a lot of people betting on other exchanges, £30 welcome offer. There's money back as a free bet if your first bet loses. All you have to do is enter the bonus code INSIGHTS30. That's INSIGHTS30. £30 welcome offer. So you can put your money on Brooks, on Shane Lowry, or even Adam Scott, and you get your money back as a free bet. It's a no-brainer, Jesse.
Yeah, it's a shot to nothing. It's a great route, and basically a free shot at if you bet on 100 to 1 or 55 to 1 like Koepka, £30. Hey, that's a nice thing to try and root in, and money back if it doesn't.
Well, listen, for everyone listening, enjoy the weekend's golf. Will, Jesse, thanks a million for joining me. As Jesse mentioned, keep an eye on Matchbook, for there'll be a lot more golf content coming your way as we build the exchange on that front. But as I said, enjoy the golf and take care. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll chat to you next time.